Well, the same old story for the Arizona Cardinals as they fall 2-5 to the Green Bay Packers here at Week 7. 5 straight losses, ending in game-winning drives for the other team. You know, I can sit here and analyze the game and tell you what we're doing wrong, but there's a certain point in football and with a football team where there is no explanation on the field with players, with coaching, and trust me, I have a lot of problems with the coaching especially, and a lot of the players. But right now we're in such a turbulent stage. I mean, I don't even. This is past turbulent. You know, people were going into this game. You know, we need to win this lockdown. So we don't. Lose chance on playoffs. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoff teams are teams with spirit. Right now, the Arizona Cardinals have no spirit. And that's thanks to a lot of the fans, if they even should be called fans, because they're not. It's a joke. I saw the crowd there at State Farm Stadium. It was abysmal. I mean, decked out in cheese heads and green jerseys. It was a joke. But that's also the case for pretty much all our home games. But the past 5 losses, and the first 2 I can understand. I mean, San Francisco is a solid team, even with Mac Jones. I don't think it would have made a difference if we wouldn't have lost by any more if Brock Purdy was in. Because at the end of the day, I do feel like they're very similar quarterbacks in similar, game management type style offense. And then Seattle's a decent team. Sam Darnold has found a new birth for himself. He's made a whole new name for himself down in Seattle, which I wasn't happy for him then, but I'm happy for him now because he was a joke. He was the butt end of everyone's jokes in the NFL. Him seeing ghosts and his time in New York, and it just goes to show you what being a Jets quarterback can do for you. But those 2 were understandable. And then we get to Tennessee. I didn't even want to talk about that game, and that was a joke. I mean, there's nothing you can say. You can't break that game down and say, well, this and that, and Murray this, Murray that, Petsing this, Petsing that. That was the most Arizona Cardinal way of losing a football game. The only way you can lose like that if you try to, and that's what it looked like we did. Dean Ricardo, my feelings on him, I think he should be off the team. I'd never want to see that guy's face again. I know that's harsh. I know I'm not the one at risk of losing my job because I fumbled. But at the end of the day, I get to say those things because we're watching football. He's a football player. He needs to do his job. That is a rookie mistake. I don't even know if I should say that because that's not a rookie mistake. No one should make that mistake. We've seen it time and time again where players make that. The celebrating too early and they drop the football. You're 1 yard away. That would have won the game. We lost the game by 1 yard. And that was just a boneheaded play. And he had that drop, that TD pass, the previous week in San Francisco. So something like that, I think he should lose his job over that. And that's not, I can't stand when critics and sports analysts and broadcasters say, this guy sucks. I hate the word sucks because I think it's unfair. For someone who I have not been on an NFL field. I have not put on pads. But I can recognize that kind of thing. He significantly hurt us by losing us 2 games, single-handedly losing us 2 games. And that game was that was a joke. I don't even want to talk about that. That week was my first week of ever saying Kyler Murray needs to find a new home. And I'm not one of these people who have been saying, oh, well, Kyler Murray sucks. He's short, intentional grounding, whatever. Because I look at it like this now. Kyler Murray, for the past 7 years, I think has been a great quarterback. Yeah, I've seen the same mistakes he makes. But it is more heavily talked about when Kyler Murray makes those mistakes rather than Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence or Mahomes or Goff or Jacoby Brissett, as we've seen the past 2 weeks. It for whatever reason, the social narrative is incredibly hard on Kyler Murray. And I know that probably stems from him not being liked in the locker room. People think he's lazy. I don't. Again, he said it, what was it, last year or 2 years ago? He got up on the press conference and said, I am flattered that you guys think I can achieve all these things, Undefeated in high school, Heisman, drafted first round in the MLB, drafted first overall in the NFL, took a team to the playoffs, 7-0, while being lazy, while playing Call of Duty. I don't think that's Kyler Murray. You can call it bias, and I probably am a little biased, but I don't think that's why he's declining, or that's why we're losing. We're losing because we can't surround him with a good team. We saw what happened when we gave him a good team in DeAndre Hopkins, and James Conner, and a mild offensive line. Mild. Not compared to what we have now, because mediocre was our peak of offensive line for Kyler Murray's career. And I go back to, we have nice assets. Think of it as a homeowner, as a dad. You're a dad with your family, and you buy a new couch. And that couch it's a nice couch. It's expensive, whatever, leather, whatever. And the minute you open it, you put it out, you find a new area for it in the living room, it looks great. And the minute that happens, your kids go, they scratch it up, they're spilling soda, they're getting chips all over it. Well, what's your dad going to think? What's he going to say? He's going to say, why have nice things if we can't take care of them? And I use that same philosophy for Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray should find a new home. We should give him a new home because we can't protect him as an asset. We don't give him good receivers. We don't give him good offensive linemen. We don't give him an offensive coordinator. Drew Petzing needs to go. Why is Drew Petzing's failures, and I know he's got criticism, but why is his failures reflecting on Kyler Murray? That shouldn't be the case. He shouldn't be at fault for what Drew Petzing draws up 2 weeks in a row. You need one first down to win the game, and you stack the deck off tackle, run up the middle. 3 plays in a row. That's your idea of a game-winning drive, a game-sealing drive. Get a first down, and you did one of them against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. We were moving the ball all game. You couldn't draw up anything better than that. And the intentional groundings, he doesn't know what to do with the ball. Hell, I wouldn't know what to do with the ball, and you wouldn't know what to do with the ball if you snapped it and all of a sudden a bunch of, 6'5", 300-pound guys are chasing you. Right off the snap. It's ridiculous. I don't get the correlation. People see this and they don't. It's not clicking. 2 and 2. I mean, and I get it because I see these critics. I see the people who, Kyler Murray sucks. They're usually fat and they usually got, chip crumbs hanging out of their beard and their belly out, and they're armchair quarterback in the entire thing. These people have no idea. They have no critical thinking when it comes to sports. And I say that for the sports analysts who watch it too, because they're simple minds. They see a team losing. Well, team lose, quarterback bad. Like, no, that's not how it works in the NFL. And let's say for a minute, devil's advocate, we entertain getting rid of Kyler Murray, starting a few years ago, because that's when it started. People, once we missed the playoffs after going 10-6 and losing to the Rams, that's when people started to jump ship. And who would have been our replacement? I mean, it would have been, even if you think we could have brought in a good quarterback or a decent quarterback, it would have been 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Pay Kyler Murray's contract while he's gone, and then what? Roll the dice at a quarterback would have been better. I don't think Caleb Williams would be playing any better in this Arizona offense than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has given his heart, blood, sweat, and tears to this organization, and he gets no support. That's why I feel like he should find a new home. And it breaks my heart to say that, because I have watched Kyler Murray every snap for the past 7 years. His season career debut against the Detroit Lions. Every single play of Kyler Murray I've watched, I know him. I feel for him, and we're not giving him the support he needs. Instead, we're just simple minds about it, and we want to make idiotic remarks. Okay, well, you go out there and get chased right off the line. And you know, the past 2 weeks, we've started Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett, I think he's a fine backup quarterback. He's been great. He's the kind of person that I want to see behind Kyler Murray because he's a veteran. He is smart. He's a pocket passer. He knows what he's doing. He can handle himself under pressure. But as we've seen for the past 2 weeks, at the end of the day, he's going to struggle the same way Kyler Murray's struggling because it's not his fault. The same way it's not Kyler Murray's fault. Brissett on the game-winning drive, he can't get the ball in the air because Jonah Williams can't protect him. Paris Johnson sometimes fails. Don't even get me started on the interior offensive line. Froholt, my goodness, man. Ridiculous. And I don't even these guards. I don't even know where they came from. It's a joke. It brings me back to the Max Garcia days. That was one player that I despised the most. He was so bad, terrible, and yet this is the guy we have protecting our franchise quarterback. So at the end of the day, and this goes not only for Kyler Murray, it goes for Budda Baker, it goes for Trey McBride. If we cannot take care of our assets, we shouldn't have them. If we don't want to spend the money and get ourselves a good team, and we don't have a good team. We're severely underhanded or under-equipped to compete against teams like Green Bay or Seattle or San Francisco or whoever else is coming up on our schedule. This is why we lose, because we don't have the manpower. Our receivers, Marvin Harrison, he's played better the past 2 weeks. He's been getting the ball. He's been actually catching them. But he has not been what he was supposed to be. He's here and there. And to some degree, that's how he was in college. He was here and there. He would always show up and have a huge game against some community college, and the next thing you know, disappear. I watched him. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I watched that Notre Dame game where Benjamin Morrison shut him down. He was a ghost. He was nowhere to be found in that game. And here he is again doing it in the NFL. And our backup receivers, Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, all those guys, they're Jags. Just a guy. In the words of Steve Smith. Just a guy. And I'm not being overly critical or saying that I can do a better job, but I can recognize talent and I can recognize what's working for our team. We don't have a true number one receiver. Our number one offensive target is Trey McBride. And then James Conner goes down. And the offensive line, still, I don't even know if I'd label it mediocre. That might be too nice. So I look at this, though, we're 2-5, no hopes of playoffs. And I do think this could be a playoff team. I still think this could be a playoff team. But our spirits are broken. So now it leads into the question, what do we do from here? I think when the offseason comes, we do a complete rebuild. I've never been one to jump ship quickly and say, oh, we need to rebuild the team, because I hate rebuilding. It sucks. You suck for 3-4 years, and it's not even a given that you rebuild well. You need management, smart management for that. And I'm not saying Monty Osborne's not smart. I think he's done a great job. With some of the moves he's made. Has he given us all he can? No, I don't think so. Is it fair to say it's on him? No, because I don't think he has control over every, the people he can't sign. He brought in Josh Sweat, which was great. He brought in Tomlinson, Campbell. We addressed that defensive line. Our run stopping's been actually really good. But this is someone I've watched the Arizona Cardinals my entire life, and our ownership, our franchise has been the same way. Dribs and drabs to get us through the offseason, and nothing doing. I mean, it will not get us over the hump. So I'll be content with watching a 3-14 team if our assets suck. If we don't want to give Kyler Murray the team he needs, or build off players like Budda Baker on our defense, or Trey McBride on our offense, or protect James Conner, we shouldn't have those players. It does make me believe that it is time for a rebuild. And I hate to say that because it would break my heart to see Kyler Murray or any other of those guys on that team that I respect and love so well, see them in another jersey. So this is one of the most demoralizing seasons I've seen, because you go from 2-0 and you have 5 straight losses in the same exact fashion. There's not much to be said. There's not a football move you can make other than ride out the rest of the season. And if you're not willing to actually fix the problem, which is our coaching, offensive coordinator, if you're not willing to spend the money on an offensive line and receivers and defensive backs, then suck. Don't give us hope. Just suck the rest of this for how many more years you want to do it. But this is also and I'm heated. This sucks. This hurts so much when I watch the team that I love and grew up watching play like this. It's so demoralizing. I hate it. But there's not much else we can do besides ride out the rest of the season. So we'll see. I mean, we got our bye week coming up soon. I don't know if we're going to make any moves at trade deadline. I'll make, once we're closer to that, there'll probably be more rumors and more stuff to go on to make a video. But as of now, we just sit and watch, which is what we're used to doing anyway. So I guess for right now, it's go Suns. It really is, because we don't have much to look forward to as Arizona sports fans, the few and the proud Arizona sports fans.